Stop harassing Rachael Lindsay. Chris Harrison isn't that great. He's not that great. He's not that great. I don't care. Hate me. Roast me in the comments for it. He's not that great. What is his talent? What does he bring to the table besides just being recognizable and someone you're used to on the show? Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe. Also, smash the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video and go live. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It's free. It helps the channel, and I greatly appreciate you. This video series is called Joleen Reacts, where I react to videos that you guys send me. You can email me, joleenreacts@gmail.com, and I just might react to your video. So this video was sent to me by the lovely Tiara. Thank you so much for sending this. You guys probably know there's a lot of drama going on right now in the Bachelor world regarding Rachael Kirkconnell, Rachael Lindsay, and Chris Harrison. Rachael Lindsay did an interview with Chris Harrison. Chris Harrison outed himself as being one of those woke police guys. He's always like, I don't like the woke police. There's a woke police here. And mansplained. And if you saw the interview, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, you can check out Rachael Lindsay's interview with Chris Harrison on Extra, where she just let him talk and he basically buried himself.
What are your thoughts about Rachael Kirkconnell and the allegations attached to her?
A couple of things. First and foremost, I don't know. I haven't talked to Rachael about it. And this is, again, where we all need to have a little grace, a little understanding, a little compassion, because I've seen some stuff online. Again, this judge, jury, executioner thing, where people are just tearing this girl's life apart and diving into like her parents voting record and what it's unbelievably alarming to watch this. I haven't heard Rachael speak on this yet. And until I actually hear this woman have a chance to speak, who am I to say any of this? I saw a picture of her at a sorority party 5 years ago. And that's it. Like, boom. Like, okay, well, this girl is in this book now, and she's now in this group. And I'm like, really? Okay, well, there goes.
The picture was from 2018 at an Old South antebellum party. So I think, when you it's when you
hold that under the lens.
It's not a good look.
No, it's not a good. Well, Rachael, is it a good look in 2018 or is it not a good look in 2021?
It's not a good look ever, because she's celebrating the Old South. If I went to that party, what would I represent at that party?
I don't disagree with you. You're 100% right in 2021. That was not the case in 2018. Again, I'm not defending Rachael. I just know that, I don't know, 50 million people did that in 2018 between, it's like that was a type of party that a lot of people went to. And again, I'm not defending it. I didn't go to it. We are not looking under the same lens. And that is, again, the grace and the compassion, the understanding. With this girl at, I don't know how old she would have been back then, have thought, historically, this mansion stood for this. Guys, it's not really that woke that we're here. We need to have the understanding and the compassion of this history and what this stood for and what these people who own this mansion stood for. My guess, these girls got dressed up and went to a party and had a great time. They were 18 years old. Now, does that make it okay? I don't know, Rachael. You tell me. But where is this lens we're holding up? And was that lens available? And were we all looking through it in 2018? I don't know.
Chris Harrison, the longtime host of The Bachelor, has had to step down. So he says. Okay, so we don't know the fate of the next season of The Bachelor or Bachelorette or who will host it. And that's pretty much where we're at. And this is all after Rachael Kirkconnell, who is a current contestant on this season of The Bachelor with Matt James, was outed for a bunch of racist behavior and all kinds of stuff, which you guys can find with a quick Google search. And so that's where we're at with that. And Chris Harrison was commenting on that situation. Now, this video is from Van Lathan. So Van Lathan and Rachael Lindsay have a podcast called Higher Learning. And she later, after she did the Chris Harrison video, she went on her podcast with Van Lathan, her co-host, and talked about the situation. So definitely check that out. It is very interesting, and I loved hearing Rachael Lindsay's take on all this. Apparently, Rachael Lindsay is getting tons of hate from Bachelor Nation because Bachelor Nation is not happy about change. They're not happy that The Bachelor is being called out for racism. There are a lot of articles circling around that The Bachelor has had a problem with racism. I mean, we're on season 25 of The Bachelor, and this is the first season where there's a Black Bachelor. And now, we've had former contestants on The Bachelor and Bachelorette saying racist things. So this isn't new to anybody.
I look at Hannah B and what she did. I look at people that have made mistakes. Again, I am not the woke police. There's plenty of people plenty of people who will do that for us in this world right now. I don't know. Like, do you go tear all those places down and tear up the dirt and dig deep enough that it erases it? I don't know. When you see San Francisco erasing Lincoln and erasing Washington and erasing people because of what they stood for 180 years ago, I don't know. Is that right? Is it wrong? The woke police is out there, and this poor girl, Rachael, who has just been thrown to the lions. I don't know how you are equipped when you have never done this before to be woke enough, to be eloquent enough, to be ready to handle this. And my guess is this woman needs a little time. And this is, again, what we didn't give Hannah. It's what we didn't give anybody. We don't give people time to have some perspective, to try and drink this in for a second, see how this affects their life, and then speak on it. She will speak, my guess. And when she does, I'm going to hear her out. And if I disagree with her, if you disagree with her, then we can have our say. But I'm not sure why we are in such a hurry to throw this poor woman.
It's been 6 weeks. We've known about these allegations have been attached to Rachael since Matt's season started, which was in January.
But when do you jump in? When is the time? And who is Rachael Lindsay? And who is Chris Harrison? And who is whatever woke police person out there? Who are you? And that's I've heard this a lot of, like, I think she should. I think he should. Who the hell are you?
But apparently, Rachael Lindsay simply interviewing Chris Harrison and letting him bury himself in the interview is causing her to get hate. And her co-host, Van Lathan, hit the Instagram to do a video about it.
Okay, so shout out to Master P. My co-host on Higher Learning, Rachael Lindsay, disabled her Instagram earlier today. She did it because that's how much hate she's getting from Bachelor fans who are spamming her with all kinds of rude, hateful things to say. All right. Y'all got to get a fucking life. Seriously. Rachael is not responsible for Chris Harrison, a 49-year-old man who can't read the room in these present 2021 times. She's not responsible for that. It's not her job to make excuses or provide cover for somebody who doesn't understand what the fuck triggers people in today's world. It's not. You're going after the wrong person. And just to let you guys know, I know you love the show, but it's The Bachelor. It's not worth harassing somebody over. Get a fucking life. Rachael, we love you. We're with you.
Very well said, Van. And I think the most shocking thing about this video is Chris Harrison is 49. I thought he was like 60 something. I'm going to need to sit on that one for a while. I can't believe that I always thought he was like grandpa. Am I the only one? Let me know in the comments, you guys, because I definitely thought Chris Harrison was like, old enough to collect Social Security, or at least, I don't know, 50 something. Wow, 49. This is the breaking news. Wow. It's really sad to hear that Rachael is getting hate over this because she didn't do anything wrong. She interviewed him. He said things and people were offended. How is that her problem? And she's getting so much hate that she has to disable her social media. She's not the problem. Chris Harrison is the problem. And here's the deal. Chris Harrison's going to be fine, you guys. He's going to be fine. He's able to write erotica. That dude, Chris Harrison, who is the opposite of who I would think would write erotica. A guy who I don't get a lady boner for Chris Harrison. Do you guys? I don't. He gets to write. He can sell his erotic novels. He'll be fine. This always happens. These powerful men dig their own graves and then they have to step down. He'll still get his money. He's made so much money off The Bachelor and has been the face of this franchise for so long. He is not going to be hurting, okay? I don't know why people want to cape for Chris Harrison at this point. And not only cape for him, but go after Rachael Lindsay. She's just reporting. She didn't say, here, Chris, read this script. These are things that came out of his mouth. She didn't get him fired. She didn't tell him he had to step down. She just allowed him to speak. And he did all that stuff himself. But somehow we are still blaming her for the situation. She's not Rachael Kirkconnell. She didn't do the racist things. She's not Chris Harrison, who spent most of the interview talking over her, mansplaining racial issues and injustice to her in the interview. And then went on to say things like, well, who are you, Rachael Lindsay? And who am I, Chris Harrison? And I don't know, in 2018, was it bad to go to a antebellum party? You tell me. It was, Chris. It was. Even Rachael Kirkconnell herself is saying, yes, I made a mistake.
I really just wanted to say that, over the last few weeks, since I put my statement out, I've gotten a lot of messages.
I've gotten a lot of people asking me, well, what have you done to change since then? And I've also had a lot of people message me saying that they aren't understanding why people are so upset. But they want to, and they've asked for resources, which I think is great. But then there's also people messaging me saying, you've done nothing wrong, don't listen to people. And I'm tired of getting all of this and not saying anything. And I think that the first big step in all of this is white people stepping up and taking accountability. And things will never change if we don't all work together and working towards this racial progress and this unity that we want. And I've just been hesitant to post links and books and any resources because I don't want people thinking that it's performative or it's not something that I don't truly stand by. And I get it. I hear you. There are things out there that completely validate your opinions and your anger towards me. But I've come to realize that sitting aside and hiding in the corner and avoid being called performative, that doesn't help anyone or anything. And even if that is what people think when I speak on these subjects of injustice and racism, that's not what really matters. This entire movement and where we are in this country, it's just so much bigger than this. And I want and need to use my privilege and my platform that I so do not deserve, just to shine a light on these issues and try and do what I can to take a step in the right direction. And I keep trying to tell myself that this entire experience with what's going on right now was a blessing in disguise because maybe it can wake a lot of people up, and maybe it already has started to. And I think one of the most crucial parts to all of this is to talk to each other and to have these conversations, to have these uncomfortable conversations and to learn to unlearn and to do the work. We have so much work to do. So with all that being said, I am going to post some resources that I have either used or that have been highly recommended to me that I plan on using because the learning never stops. We all need to continue to educate ourselves. And I think that it's just where everyone needs to start with all of this. One more thing. If you are in my comments or defending me anywhere, telling people that I did nothing wrong, that there's nothing to be hurt about, there's nothing to be angry about or offended about, please stop. That's not our place to tell people what they can and can't be offended about. That's wrong. And that's part of the problem. So please stop saying that I did nothing wrong. That's not true. If you really want to support me, then encourage me to do better and encourage those around you to do better and to accept change and allow others to learn and grow. Because we need to work together on this if anything is going to change.
What happens to Chris Harrison is because of Chris Harrison. This isn't a cancel culture thing. This is a consequences culture. He's gonna be fine. Why are we caping for the 1%? Why are we worried? Chris Harrison has more money than any of us will ever have. He's had more opportunity than any of us have ever had. And arguably with what talent? That's just me throwing it out there. I don't get the Chris Harrison hype. I understand you like the show. He is your host and you're used to it and you don't like change. But is Chris Harrison paying your bills? Is Chris Harrison bailing you out during a Panakuchen Panorama pandemic? Is Chris Harrison showing up for Meals on Wheels? I mean, why would she get hate over something Chris Harrison did? This to me is so ridiculous. Bachelor Nation, please tell me you are not this upset about losing Chris Harrison. Think of what we can gain. Don't you think we can have like a new, fresh, sexy, fun host? I mean, what Chris Harrison is like that dad that you go over to your friend's house. You're like, oh, he's going to talk to us. He always tells us stories. He tells us the same stories about his same dumb friends. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hi, Mr. Harrison. Oh, we can call you Chris. We don't want to. We're not friends. That's who he is. He has been very lucky and privileged in life. He's going to fall on his feet. He didn't even fall yet. Okay. He's fine. Him and Les Moonves, they're going to, just be on a problematic rich man island somewhere. Just, cashing their paychecks and their retirement and their stocks and their bonds and all things the rest of us don't have. So when you want to put all your energy into focusing on Chris Harrison, if he's going to be okay at night, I'm sure he'll find one of his houses and one of his girlfriends or one of his wives to sleep with. He's gonna be okay, guys. You know, he's probably floating in his pool going, damn, woke police got me again. I will get them. Maybe he'll write books about the woke police. You know, this is just going to be inspiration for him. Maybe he'll write it into his erotica, you know, and as they were caressing and kissing each other's naked bodies, the woke police showed up and said, did you both consent to this? Oh, boner killer. Let Rachael Lindsay host the show. Wow, what a novel idea to have a woman hosting a romantic show. This is a show that's supposed to be based on fantasy. You know, this is supposed to be all of those Disney fantasy bullshit stories they tell us when we're young girls, you know, like the prince will come and he'll save you. Just leave a shoe behind. Grow your hair long. Just do, you know, I don't know. You're going to find him. He's going to save you. He's going to kiss the girl. You want to walk on land? Find yourself an Eric, Ariel, and he will get you there. But watch out for Ursula and also Ugly Stepsisters, because women compete for men. Like, all of these concepts set us back so far as women. But this show, if you like it, if it's your guilty pleasure, who cares? Fine. That's great. But remember that this is supposed to be a show based on fantasy. And when I look at Chris Harrison, he's not in anyone's fantasy. Raise your hand if Chris Harrison is in your fantasy. What if we actually had someone who might be in a fantasy? I don't want some random dad showing up in my fantasy like, hey, oh gosh, Chris Harrison. Like, right when I'm just like, this is such a beautiful moment. He shows up. He's like, time for the rose ceremony. I'm going to go back and write my erotica. I want a magical host. If this is supposed to be about fairy tale and fantasy and finding love and being romanced, I want a romantic host. I don't want Chris Harrison. Nothing about him screams fairy tale. Does it? It's just your dad showing up and killing your boner. He's just been ruining boners for years. Lady boners and man boners. I wouldn't waste my time caping for Chris Harrison. He had 25 seasons. If he's got to step down, we need some, you know, new host. Good. How many people have kept their jobs for that long and made that much money? Do you know anybody? No. It's a lucky bastard, okay? That's all I'm saying. If he was a woman, 49, and a host of a TV show, he would have been asked to step down a long time ago. He would have just been straight up fired. And not because he said anything that was offensive, just because he was an old woman. And Hollywood doesn't let us see old women on TV unless they're dying. Hey kids, tell me about what's the cool stuff happening at school. You're like, no, Mr. Harrison, it's Chris. Okay, Chris. Do you guys want me to buy you a couple Mick Ultras? No, thanks, Mr. Harrison. It's Chris. All right, Chris, drinking is for dummies. God, your dad won't shut up. I know. He also writes erotic fiction. Ugh. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this reaction video. Share it out on social media. Share it with Rachael Lindsay. Tell her that we love her. And don't send Rachael Lindsay hate, you guys. All right. Follow me on social media. You can find me at Joleen Lunzer on Instagram, Twitter, and the TikTok. And if you have something you want me to react to, send it my way. You can email me, JoleenReacts@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.